Hello and welcome to our new video. This week we're going to start off by going to Thessaloniki and going to visit the second biggest city of Greece. Then we're going to go into a paradise of animals. We're going to see many birds and water buffaloes. And after that we're going to leave the country since we're going to Bulgaria. But all about that after the intro. If you've seen our last video, you know that we hiked on Mount Olympus yesterday. Today we are still a bit exhausted from that trip and we can feel the muscle ache. We'll have an easygoing start into the day, but then get ready to leave this spot, since we'll drive to Thessaloniki, the second largest city of Greece. With about 1.2 million inhabitants, Thessaloniki is not only the second largest city in Greece, but also one of the oldest in Europe, and it's often portrayed as a secret competitor of Athens. Historical treasures are hidden in the alleys, most of which you come across by chance. As a Greek student city, Thessaloniki also knows how to convince culinarily, because 100,000 students want to be catered for. On every corner you will find cafes, taverns and restaurants. The White Tower is a monument and museum. Since its construction in the 15th or 16th century, the White Tower has served as a fortification, garrison, prison and museum. drive around the lake, and yeah, probably gonna sleep just like on the other side of the lake. To quickly have a look at nature and the birds and everything over there, but yeah, it's not the best or most comfortable spot to stay for the night, so we'll just keep on driving. A very good spot. The vans are over here, and over there in the back, now you can't see them on the camera, there are water buffaloes, and we saw quite a few birds over here, and which makes me very happy because we saw the bee eater. If Shoa gets a good shot of it, I can maybe blend it in somewhere over here. A very colorful bird, and we've been looking for that bird ever since we came to Greece. We then figured out that they come here between April and September, and so far we didn't see them, and we're soon going to leave Greece. I don't know where else they are, but now we finally found them, and that makes me really happy. Thank you, Thea, to show our sister, that you told us that we should have keep our eyes open to look out for that bird. Okay, quick outfit change and new spots, and now we're gonna walk to the front because over there should be some further water buffaloes. they come. Some are still going over the water, and the rest is coming towards us. Or maybe not. For Joel, Rodriguez and me, it's the first time in Bulgaria. It's always cool to visit a new country, but you also have to inform yourself about their rules. For example, we had to buy an e-vignette so that we are allowed to drive the highway and certain other streets. It's their way of paying toll. Your identity card, passport and driver's license must be valid for at least 3 months upon entry. Okay, our first stop over here in Bulgaria is over here, where you can see those sandy hills, and we're gonna go for a short walk now, and apparently we should be able to see some sandstone pyramids, but yeah, we'll see. walking over here, I have to be very careful because, yeah, this looks beautiful, but also a little bit scary. And this is where we're gonna stay for the night. It's not the most beautiful spot, it's just a parking spot, but yeah, the view is alright, I would say. The city Mernik is an architectural nature reserve and 96 of its buildings are cultural monuments. With 385 inhabitants, it is the smallest city in Bulgaria and has retained its city status for historical reasons. In Bulgaria, they have a different currency. Here we have to pay with lev. No idea if I'm pronouncing that correctly. 1 lev equals 0.51 euros or 0.48 Swiss francs. The country was supposed to switch to euros on the 1st of January 2025, but somehow they didn't manage yet. It gets really hot in the van in the morning, and that's why first thing we do is open up the doors and everything so that the fresh air can come in, and Shoal is already cooling off his feet. We can measure the temperature which we have in the van, and usually when we wake up it's around 25 to 30 degrees, but yeah, as soon as you open up the windows and everything, it's alright again. this is the beautiful spot where we wanted to stay for the night. Over here there's a great place which is even where we could have parked the cars. But yeah, looks like we're gonna keep on driving. Okay, we've made it to our spot for the night. I'm going to explain everything tomorrow. I'm way too tired now. As promised, you're gonna receive the update about what happened yesterday. The plan was for us to drive for 3.5 hours, plus take a stop to go and get some groceries, take a stop to go and fill up on diesel, which we luckily did. And yeah, so it was the goal to be on the road for around 4.5 hours maximum. But in the end, we were on the road for almost 10 hours. Why so? We drove to that one spot which we were hoping to stay for the night, which was beautiful, but yeah, as we were trying to figure out where we should park the cars, where the place is even and everything, some locals came with their cars and they told us that they're going to be a big group celebrating the weekend with each other, and they're going to be loud, they're going to build up their tents, and actually the plan was for them to have their tents over there where we wanted to park our cars. So they were very friendly and they told us we are allowed to stay, but we also got the impression that we're not too welcome because they wanted to have the spot for themselves and we didn't want to take away the spot from the locals. So that's why we decided to keep on driving. The problem was, after that spot the roads got worse, and or there were already other vans parked and we didn't have space, or we just couldn't drive the roads because they were really shite. So we just kept on driving to the next spot and then to the next spot and to the next spot, and nothing was satisfying, nothing was doable, or it was just too close to the road, which was very noisy. And I know we were very picky at that time, but somehow we also wanted to stand somewhere near the lake because that was the plan, to stay here now for 2 nights. But in the end everything turned out different. It started to get dark, we were tired, we were annoyed, we were hungry, so we just said, you know what, screw it, we'll just keep on driving until we find something doable. And yeah, we ended up with this parking lot, which isn't beautiful, but it was, yeah, alright for the night. We're not gonna stay for a further night, we're gonna keep on driving, so we changed our plans, but that's van life, you just have to go with the flow. and after prepping and eating a lovely dinner with homemade veggie nuggets, we are now gonna end the day and the video. So, thank you very much for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. If so, like and subscribe and maybe leave a comment so we know which part you enjoyed the most. Coming Sunday, 6 o'clock in the evening, we'll upload our new video, so stay tuned for that. Until then, have a good time and goodbye!